Welcome to video 3.
Absolutely anyone can do this, you just need to follow the steps I have taken in order for this to work.
It's the subject that maybe I've just spoken to you about.
So guys, big welcome to this podcast. This is a special podcast. 5 years.
5 years of changing lives.
Crazy.
How quick has that gone?
I was just about to say, I feel like it's gone so quick.
Yeah.
From like looking back at, the very, very beginning when we had the idea to just where we are now. The team we've got, the community we've got, like things have just blown up. It's crazy.
From a pen and a piece of paper.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
But back then, would you ever have dreamed it would be what it is today?
Never.
No way.
Never ever. So people said to us so many times, how did you get this far? What was the plan from the beginning? It's like, well, this was never the plan.
We were just
I'm not
like,
gonna lie
I
to you.
don't know.
we just winged it.
Yeah, we literally did.
But yeah, it all started. I think a lot of people forget, when we talk about 5 years of change, I've already had messages going, I thought you did e-commerce a lot longer. We have done e-commerce a lot longer. So we've done e-commerce for 11 years, which is a long time, which once again seems like yesterday.
We're only 20 as well.
Oh, wow. So
right.
10. I'm still young. And we've only been mentoring now for 5 years. So the first 6 years, obviously incredible journey. I don't need to go in depth too much. People know kind of our journey. We get asked all the time, but coming from chefs to wanting more from life and building empires in e-com for the 6 years prior to change going live. And it got to a point, we were leveling up in all angles, life, we bought our dream cars, blah, blah, blah. And it was only when people started questioning, what are you guys doing? They started coming out the woodworks going, oh, Ryan, how are you doing? Remember, I'm your friend, But I started using social media a lot more, if you remember. We all did. In around 2019, I started posting more on social media, not showing off, but proud of the milestones I'd hit. And I think we were all proud because most people writ us off. Most people said, oh, you're never going to do it. And laughed at us. It's a scam. People joined us, left us, because they didn't believe in what we were doing. So 6 years in, we proved everyone wrong. We proved them all wrong in the first year, 2 years. We quit our jobs, etc. But 6 years into e-commerce, we started posting more on social media, and obviously the exposure social media gives you. People are now asking, what is it you do? How do I get involved? And now everybody's interested. I was thinking, well, you weren't interested before. And I remember, and you will remember this, me sitting on the sofa in the evenings after a day of running our e-commerce businesses, sitting in the evenings on the sofa, having endless calls with people that are interested. Yeah. And it got a little bit too much for me because you said, look, Ryan, you've quit your job. You're doing the same amount of hours as you was doing as a chef.
Yeah.
You don't need to help these people. Like that wasn't the plan of helping others. And change come about when me and Reese sat down. Reese, I think it was at Reese's or you were at mine, can't remember.
I think we had a whiteboard. I remember that. We had a whiteboard, and I think even until this day, you have to check your garage. I think it's still in there with the first stuff we wrote on there. We'll have to find that out.
Put the auction off for
We'll
millions.
sell it for the highest bidder.
But but I remember it was a case of like you had the phone calls. I was obviously getting DMs, and people were trying to duplicate what we were doing. Obviously, they're seeing us in e-commerce, and they're like, "Oh, I'm doing this on Shopify.
Send me your store link. Can I have a look at your store?" Was the main one, and then you never hear from them again.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, they try and steal your idea. But it's a case of like if someone had an issue, they'd want me to send them a video of how to fix it, and it was just like we were busy enough as it was with e-commerce, but now we were like, basically not handouts, but we're like spending so much of our time helping other people. So it was like, that's when we all sat in that room in your old house with that whiteboard, and we were like, we need something in place to like leverage our time, but still help people.
Yeah. That was your idea. That wasn't my idea. Mentoring never crossed my mind because you got to remember at the time, there was all these Forex traders that's still about, unfortunately, scamming people left, right and center. And I didn't want to associate myself. I had zero interest in doing that. But prior to that, we already had a little bit of passion for helping others. So my uncle Danny had a plastering business. He asked for some help on marketing online because he wasn't getting much business. And we helped him with the marketing online, and he saw more business, more sales, more customers. And he was like, wow, man, like it not changed my life, but you have helped me massively. And I'm like, that felt good. I didn't get anything from it. Not because it's a family member. It just felt good. Like,
helping people.
A bit of a show off, like, wow, what I've learned is just help somebody else. So, Reese, when we spoke to Reese, and Reese was like, well, why don't we create a training system? I kind of palmed it off and laughed at you as if to say, yeah, okay. But you was being serious, and you said, look, Ryan, for anyone that comes through, stop doing your phone calls, stop doing your DMs, and the same for Reese as well, receiving DMs. But if we create just a mini course, anyone that asks, send them to the course. Now, if they're not willing to pay, well, how much was it back then? 200 quid or whatever. If they're not willing to pay 200 quid, they clearly don't want it. They're not committed. Well, that's how we eliminate the time wasters. But then my deal with Reese was, right, if we do this, no bullshit. I'm not sitting here I'm not going to sit here and try and tell people what they want to hear and try and please them. And mate, I can, look, this is how it works. It's a process. It's not a get rich quick scheme, but you put the work in, 6 months, 1 year can change your life. So we all agreed that it was going to be this no bullshit approach.
No smoke and mirrors. Like, this is what it is, like it.
And I thought we weren't going to get anyone. So I was happy with that. I don't need your money. We're doing e-commerce. Like, we actually do e-commerce unlike everybody else. So do you remember me and you went into Norwich? We bought a tripod.
Yeah.
I went into a camera shop, which was quite embarrassing, actually. I went into a camera shop, and I think 4K was the thing back then. I don't think 8K existed. I'm not sure. And I said, just quickly, why should I buy a 4K camera when my phone has 4K? Trying to get him to sell it to me. And I know I've got Aaron in the iron here, video in this podcast.
Some funny looks right now.
On their phones. Not really.
And they'd kind of rolled their eyes as if to say, oh God, another noob in here. And then he kind of explained it. I was like, look, you sold me. I'll have that camera, 500 quid. Lovely. Got the tripod. We sat in my kitchen at my old house, set up the tripod, set up the camera. Reese, you ordered, do you remember the backdrops?
Then backdrop.
That come with different colours.
Yeah.
And there was
know what a green screen was back then.
All
different colours.
Gust of wind come through the window, the backdrop shaking, going crazy.
But wasn't it like most of those videos were done on like the hottest week of the year?
I know.
So in all their videos, you two are just like drenched
There was
in sweat.
even a few videos where I had the fan on full blast. So while I'm talking, all you can hear is audio was dreadful. But you got to remember, guys, like, you know, we did e-commerce, we built stores, our skill laid in making shitloads of money in e-commerce, not filming videos, cameras, and videography is a completely different skill set. So, we were very newbie. However, we got it done. We had a pen and paper, a vision of what we're going to create, and the whiteboard on the wall, the classic whiteboard. We wrote everything down. Okay, stage one of the training, we created the structure. Didn't put tons of effort into it, to be fair, because it's like, this wasn't a main focus of ours. It was more for, do you know what? I don't mind helping people, but we need to see a commitment from you if we're going to commit to you. Rather than me jumping on phone calls for free, where is this going to end? Because we're only making more and more money through e-commerce. We're going to get more and more demand. So like, I can't spend all days on phone calls for free. It has to be aligned somewhere, where we eliminate time wasters, just like we do today. If you don't want to buy a membership, zero commitment, we give zero commitment to you. Like, we got to manage our time correctly. So we bought a tripod, set up in the kitchen, shot videos. I think we smashed out the whole whole system in 1 week. Was it?
Yeah, it was a week. Yeah.
Tami was in bed at night editing the videos, and I'm like, Tami, what's the rush? Like, she's like, I just want to get it done.
Yeah, get it. I actually remember. Can you remember? I was at like 1 a.m. and I was crying. So poor Aaron now. Hopefully you don't stay up till 1, but I was just crying because I was like, I just want to get it finished.
Yeah,
drained, but
1 week, and I think maybe a week of editing after. So 1 week shooting the videos, 1 week of editing, probably not even a week of editing. Created the system, got it out there. And I remember the first person that joined us wanted a refund.
Very quickly as well.
Yeah. And the reason for this is because he joined and he was like, I thought I was going to get one-on-one support. I thought you was going to hold my hand. But, I clearly said to that person that you need to go through the program first. Like, let us listen to what we're teaching you first, then we'll help you. And he couldn't even do that, and there's many people out there today that are the same. So we refunded him, more than happy refunded him. But what I absolutely loved was actually being on social media and giving people no bullshit. I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
I was
it's
like,
refreshing because everything you see is people with promises that they can't keep.
Absolutely.
And fake, and like you say, smokes and mirrors.
Yeah, selling people dreams.
Yeah.
Is what everybody...
It's what people want to hear. If someone, like, you got to think, you're in a bad place right now, and someone on social media is like, look, you can turn that around, minimal effort, minimal spend, you can be a millionaire in 6 months or 2 months, what most people say. You're going to sit there and be like, oh, wow, that's what I want.
Yeah.
In reality, it doesn't work.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so it was like that no bullshit was amazing. Now, what we found at the very beginning was, would get people join us. They'll love the system. A lot of these members are still members.
I was then going to say, can we just say
there's
veterans. Some OGs still with us
shout out
today.
to the OGs, yeah. So a lot of them are still part of our system, which is phenomenal, shows what we've built. But what we found is somebody will come through, they'll make money, refer their friend or refer a family member. Then, 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 5, 5 becomes 10. And so on. So we started growing, and we then got to a point, I think it must have been about a year down the line of slow growth. Me and Reese then looked at each other and thought, we need to add more to the system now because we're only giving you the basics. We know so much more than this, and people are loving it. People are enjoying it. It's good energy, and I love that good energy because those 6 years, I wouldn't say they were lonely years working online, but we only had that network around us. We didn't have a community. We just had a network, which was great. So actually having a community of people that were once in the position you were in, saying, I want more, Ryan. I want to level up, Ryan. Just a game, like, to me, it was a game changer for my mindset. I'm like, fuck, man, I want to help this guy. So me and Reese realised in lockdown, fuck, we need to update our system.
Yeah.
So we're in this office.
I think lockdown just like e-com businesses went nuts.
Crazy.
And then we had so many people inquiring about change in lockdown.
Because people had more time than ever, more money than ever, bored out their fucking heads. There were some people that just sat there gaming all day that had no ambition, no drive. But the people in lockdown were just kind of a different breed. They were like, I don't want to go back to work.
I don't want to go back to work. What can I do so I don't have to go back to work when this ends? So,
the one thing that lockdown really highlighted to me was we're in the right industry. It's recession proof. It's lockdown proof. It's like every time something bad happens, online businesses benefit from it. Okay, where in the traditional world, they struggle.
Opposite.
They struggle. Yeah, something in my eye. And so lockdown happened. Me and Reese were in this little office, and we shot more videos in this office. And then when lockdown happened, me and Reese flew to Malta, if you remember.
Yeah.
And we shot a bunch of videos in Malta. We were driving around on that quad. Was it a buggy or quad? I think it was a buggy. We had a tripod in there, a camera in there. We're just driving around. Yeah, it was a buggy.
Any bit of scenery that looked great. We're like, let's do a video here.
Wind,
like it was.
The wind was like.
I remember at one point, I think we stopped in the middle of like this deserted road or something, and it was quiet when we stopped there. So, cool, let's set everything up. You were doing the video. You stood on the opposite side, and literally every 10 seconds, a car.
That's it.
Car.
And then a bin lorry emptying all the bins next to me. And I'm like, are you joking? I started swearing. If you guys could see the outtakes of me just going, fucking hell. Fuck. And then in the video, I'm like, hi guys. So in this video, I'm going to teach you. That was cool. But I think like we found our purpose through the feedback, through the jumping on calls, members making money and sitting there. Like I had one member that was actually in tears for money that they were making online. It wasn't crazy amounts, but it changed their life. Yeah. And I think just sitting there listening to those people thinking, I actually did that. Even though it's not me, it's them putting the work in, it's them taking action, whatever. I'm sitting there and I'm looking, thinking, fuck, man, this is how powerful the internet is.
Yeah.
Not only has the internet changed my life, but it's enabling us to be able to use the internet to impact other lives.
Yeah, help people.
And I think I'll be lying if we would all be lying if we sat here and said, oh, helping others was a massive passion for us from the very beginning. We've always wanted to give back. That's bullshit. We never got into e-commerce for that. We got into e-commerce to make a shitload of money, leave our 9-to-5s, which we did in the first year and a half. Like, we'll be lying. But we did eventually find passion as the community grew. As the community started growing, I'm like, do you know what? I'm actually enjoying this. And, you know, I started finding myself, or all of us actually, spending 50% on our e-commerce businesses, 50% in the community. And that's what drove me and Reese to then go away to Malta by ourselves straight after COVID. Restrictions were really shit, but we pushed ourselves to do it because we looked at, you know, the 30, 40, 50 people that were relying on us. And we're like, imagine if we launch these updates and they make more money. And so... Yeah, the beginning.
I think with like e-commerce, like obviously we jumped in it to make loads of money, and you know that was great. But for me, I don't really feel fulfilled for that. Like, yeah, we're making money, we can do what we want and stuff. But it's like it's a weird feeling because like you're achieving something great for yourself, but it's like there's no, I wouldn't say reward. There's no like fulfillment to it. And I think like what you're saying, like actually helping people. Like we've had members where like their children have been really ill and they can't afford the treatment. So like being able to give these people the opportunity to get what they need to help their families, everything like that just like feeds your soul, it helps you. So it's like the most rewarding thing rather than us making a head of a lot of money. So
2 members at a recent event, shout out to Martin, shout out to Ian, both got similar problems with their kids and you know, are needing medical attention and help, and they've both done it.
Yeah.
They both did it. Fucking phenomenal stories. It's crazy, isn't it, when you think about how deep that goes? It's not just making money and buying a nice car. There's people out there, man, that need money for that type of stuff. You know?
Different stuff.
And they both smashed it in B2B, business to business, changed their lives, continuing to change their lives, being able to support their kids, you know, medically, like just phenomenal when it goes so deep. And I think we realized that very early on in the first year or two that, do you know what? The world isn't just full of time wasters. There's a bunch of them out there. There's a bunch of fakes and wannabes, as I always say. But there's genuine people out there that want to change their life, that will put the money where their mouth is, make that commitment and show us that, look, Ryan, I'm not playing. I want to do this. And I think that's what really drove us very early on, is seeing those individuals. You know, okay, out of 100, only 1 or 2 would take action, but that's still the statistic today.
Yeah.
When you look at the amount of DMs I get and people that leave me on scene and people that just watch me, like that's still the statistic today, because that's just unfortunately the minority that, you know, want more from life. Yeah. But yeah, it was crazy after the first year. I was like, what the fuck's going on? You know, this is mad. Like, this was just a little idea for anyone asking for calls to go here. And it's just like, fuck, like people are loving this. People are getting results. They're changing their lives. And it just makes you want, like the passion just makes you want to build and become better and bigger. But we never went out there to see how many members we can get. We never went out there to see how much money we can make. The money's irrelevant. When you look at the money people spend versus the amount of effort and time, it's not worth that money to us. We can do that in e-com without any of those stresses. But it's the rewards that makes it worth it for us. It's like, who's doing what we do within in the e-commerce game? There's no one. There's no one in the UK for sure. There's no one in Europe that I've come across, and there's no one across the world that I've come across. And that's not us bigging ourselves up. But you show me somebody else that offers that personal support to their members that are on the level that we're at with the experience that we've got, the events we put together, the retreats we put together, the amount of money that we reinvest into that business that we don't have to do. There's nobody doing what we do. And we said that a year into our journey. Who's doing this? And we've only been doing it a year. Everyone's selling dreams. Everyone's bullshitting everyone. Everyone's just trying to take money. I think the best thing we did was go in with no bullshit. This is how it is. Don't like it. Don't join. Love it. Let's fucking win. And I think having that attitude there has been an absolute game changer, because you get rid of all the fakes and the time wasters, and you've got time for those people, and you get the winners. And this is why change is where it is today. It's the people in the community, not us. It's the members within the community that make change what it is. It's the winners. It's the people making the money. It's the members that have changed their life. It's the members that network with other members. It's the members that want everybody to win. That is what makes change. 100%. And I think we did that from day one. A year in, still no bullshit. Year 2, still no bullshit. We're not telling you what you want to hear. I give you a perfect example. I had somebody this morning, Ryan, I'm in the shit, need to make money. I know you're the guy, you've been recommended by loads of people. Where do I join? And I'm like, whoa, before you join, this ain't going to happen overnight. We're not a get rich quick scheme. This isn't a quick fix to any problem that you have. And you know what? Read my message, hasn't messaged back. That's 8 hours ago. We don't need your money. And we've said that since day one. We don't need your money. I don't know any other way of putting it. We are not trying to sell you a course here. We're offering you an opportunity. And yes, we charge because we need the commitment from you in order for us to commit to you. As simple as that. And I think that has really helped us build what we have today in the change community.
Yeah.
No bullshit. And unfortunately, what makes us, I believe, number one in Europe or possibly the world is having that no bullshit. Every time someone says something, there's a sales funnel to it. Every time someone says something, they're trying to sell you something. And I think with us, we've just been like, this is how it is.
Yeah.
And we've been like that for the last 5 years.
This is what hugely eliminates competitors. Like what you're saying, we always used to say number one system in Europe, it's got to be worldwide.
Absolutely.
Like from what I've seen, I've spoken to a lot of system owners over in America. And it's like with us, people can message us, speak to us, jump on a call with us, whatever you want. Like we provide that to everybody. But like when you look at these people, these huge systems out there in America, you speak to the face of it, you then pass down to VAs. And it's that all the way through. You look at people in the UK, there's loads of people obviously trying to do systems and stuff like that. But once again, it's like you speak to these people, the second you join them, support's gone out the window.
Yeah.
And the support is the main element to become successful. It's not you cannot create an empire by watching videos. Do you know what I mean? You cannot create empires watching videos. Like when we get the question of why should I join you if I can find this information on YouTube?
Good luck.
For one, you won't find the information on YouTube. But even if you could, you're not going to get that support. You need personal support in order to become successful. Like me and Tami went to that event recently, and at that event, they were talking in there on how you need support. Without personal support, you're guaranteed to fail, basically. You need some element of support somewhere that can point you in the right direction.
Why do you think the top people, like the top entrepreneurs in the world, have a mentor themselves as well?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You need it.
Absolutely. So second year in, we then look at expanding the team. We look at how can we make this better. I then get in touch with, or Anthony gets in touch with me, our marketing consultant. Shout out to Anthony. For anyone who's got any e-commerce experience or knows anything about marketing, you will know that Anthony is one kind of a guy. Like you're not going to find Anthony anywhere else, mainly for the good reasons. Great deal of knowledge, very good at what he does. Once again, no bullshit, very similar to ourselves, and just full of knowledge, full of value. He knows what's going to happen in the market space before it even happens. You know, he was sitting here earlier doing a podcast with us, talking about what's happening in 5 years, and he will be spot on.
Yeah,
you know. So Anthony was our very first recruit into our system. So obviously, as we're continuing to do e-commerce ourselves and start new businesses, we then need to get some more firepower within the system, but not just anybody and everybody. I'd rather do it myself. The right people. And I met Anthony, and I quickly realized that Anthony knew more than me.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a very humble person. I used to do all the marketing, if you remember, within the system. And when I met Anthony, I was like, Jesus, this guy's another level. You know, I wasn't ashamed to admit that. I'm good at marketing. Look at my successes with my businesses. You know, you can't doubt us there, but this guy's another level. Yeah. And then we started communication with Anthony, and Anthony loved what we were doing, loved the community aspect, you know, how we're helping others. He said he ain't seen anything like this before. And it took quite a few months to eventually get Anthony on board. Anthony started part-time. We only needed him part-time. We didn't have a big community then. And then over the years, he's like, well, I'm coming on board full time. This shit's incredible. We're changing lives. You know, and he really hit him. And Anthony was our first recruit. And then as we went along the years, I won't long this webinar, this podcast out too long, but
James was the next guy, right?
James was the next guy, our e-commerce expert. James, very successful.
Someone in this room.
Oh, Aaron, our videographer. The guy is actually recording right now.
Yeah.
No, because I'm just thinking of the 4 experts in the system. I'm thinking in the system. I know Aaron's in the system, but you know what I mean. But I'll come to the videographers after. But yeah, we've got James, e-commerce expert. We spoke to James for years.
Yeah.
James actually joined us, for anyone that don't know, a little bit undercover. You know, he did e-commerce himself.
He was a member.
Yeah, very successful e-commerce. But once again, James is very open-minded to networking, and you'll find out with a lot of the top people, they buy into courses to see what knowledge they can gain. And he come to our first event. Where was that? In Grey? this.
Yeah.
I remember he stood out at that event because we had members coming through and he had an Apple Watch on. And my God, that did not stop dinging. And then I think that was the first time I'd spoken to him properly. And I was like, James, like, do you need to take a phone call? He's like, no, mate, it's my new store that I launched. And I was like, bro, that's wicked. And I think just from there, like, we just knew like he had so much potential.
But he then opened up and said, I've been in e-commerce for years. I've been doing it with my dad. I think at that point he'd been doing it for about 10 years of his dad. They did Amazon FBA and all those platforms. But yeah, then James just said, look, I joined you guys. You know, I love what you're doing. I'm just seeing what gold nuggets I can get from you. I don't know everything, just like you guys. You don't know everything. And very open and honest. And I think a year after that, he was on board as an expert. He said, look, how do I integrate myself? I'm jumping on Zooms with members. I'm not even an expert, but I'm jumping on Zooms with members. I'm helping them. I help that member make X amount of money. I help that member scale his business. I help that member. I'm like, fucking hell, this guy loves it.
Yeah.
We want people that are passionate. Like James don't need the money. He's making money. So it's like, let's get James on board. Let's fucking provide that value. Let's do it.
Do you know what? The community loved him at that time.
Yeah.
I think
They still do.
Still do.
Just at that time when he joined.
I think just before he was on board with us, I think I just wrapped up the first Ecom Accelerator that we did. I did that by myself. And then the second one, me and James sort of done like a collab with it. So we'd do classes together and stuff like that. By the end of it, I let him do it himself. I was like, this guy's good. Like,
and then the next one to then come on board was Alex, our B2B expert. So I remember Alex, there was an app called Clubhouse in lockdown. And it was a networking app because nobody can network outside. We were in lockdown. Download the app, you jump in groups. One could be an e-commerce group, mindset group, life coach skills group. So I remember jumping in a group with another guy I used to network with, and Alex was in there. And I remember after that, Alex DM'd me and he said, are you guys doing B2B? And I was like, no, I don't need to do B2B, I do B2C. I thought, what's this guy going to try and sell me? My honest thoughts on Alex. And Alex then come back and said, look, I don't have a great deal of knowledge in B2C, I do B2B for a living and I close big 6-7 figure deals. What about if we combine? You help me in B2C, I help you in B2B. Just once again, someone at the top who wants to network. They all have the same thing in common. So I was like, let's jump on a Zoom. And he was coming up with an idea and it didn't really materialize because we were quite busy in launching our brand new business. We had a brand new e-commerce business launching. We then caught up a few months later. And when I jumped off that, I said to Reese, we need to look into B2B. We need to start doing business to business because that's something we're not doing. We've never learned it. No one's ever taught us. We're not in a comfort zone. We're doing amazing in B2C.
Just a completely different angle B2B was. And I think, I remember you jumping off that Zoom and having a chat with me. And then to me, it was sort of like, is it worth the time and stuff like that? And then I think Tami decided to, because we had a pre-Bali event. Do you remember? We had a Bali retreat and we had to postpone Bali because of COVID restrictions in Bali. Obviously, where we was, it was over. And then I think you said, bring Alex to this pre-Bali event. Like, let's see how he gets on and stuff like that. And literally, first 2 hours, what deal did he help someone close?
100. I don't know.
I thought it was 500.
I was going to say about $500,000.
I think it's about 536,000 USD.
That was it. And it was with like a full alarm for the elderly.
That's it. Yeah. So it's a watch with an alarm built in. And then what it is if they fall over, it alerts their next to kin. But there was a contract in place with that where they couldn't sell to any other US company. But that's fine because you go to Australia, you go to the UK.
But that alone was just like, Jesus. Like,
we were like, who is he?
Let's learn it.
And he showed us the emails. He said, right, I'm going to give you a simple process of how this was closed. Bang, 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 bang. I was like, right, Alex, would you be interested in coming on board? And he wasn't to begin with, to be fair to him. He was just like, I'm not too sure. Let me go away and think about it. And I said, mate, we're not teaching B2B. Obviously, teach us first. So I know Alex then started teaching us B2B. We closed our first B2B deal. And I'm like, that can't be true, man. What the fuck? How would I just close that in B2C? It would take me this long to do it. And then we closed the second deal. And I think it's after the second deal, we then had a conversation. And he said, look, if I do B2B, this is, what I want you guys to help me with in return, which is B2C. And then that was his introduction to change. And he's been phenomenal. Obviously, over the years, he's helped members close deals with The Range, Fox's Biscuits, B&M's, Mountain Warehouse,
Fuel Station,
Tesco's,
Superdrug,
Fuel Station, Superdrug, just
Many
endless. More. Just endless businesses. And, Coca-Cola was another one. I can't remember, Wembley Stadium, Weatherspoons. And you're thinking, what the fuck? Has he done all of this? And that's touching 1% of what he's done.
Mad.
So, bringing him on board and implementing B2B not only was a game changer for ourselves, we do a ton of B2B. We did a 20K profit deal today. We do B2B every day ourselves, but a game changer for members.
Life changing for members.
Yeah.
So many members' lives with B2B, as well as B2C. B2B was a phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then the last one to join was Anna. Now, you've known Anna for years.
Yeah.
We've invested into businesses with Anna, teeth whitening lamps, teeth whitening kits. We've done a lot of business with Anna. Anna's built franchises with over 55 different stores. Her dad's a very successful businessman. That's where she kind of gets the business mind from. And over the years, it weren't really getting Anna on board. It was more Anna thinking, wow, I love what these guys are doing. Again, the same one. And then we had a little conversation with Anna, and Anna, I think it was at the bowling alley. Do you remember with the girls?
She said, I'm going to speak to Ryan today. And I was like, okay. And she was like, I just got a feeling I'm just going to speak to him. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, incredible.
So she just come and spoke to you.
And she said, what do you think about me teaching members to do branding? And I said, why, Anna? Like, you don't have to do it. Why? And she went, I think it'll provide you guys more value. And I said, yeah, we can do. Let's see. And then we got her on board, and wow.
Yeah. And I, obviously, Anna's one of my best friends, but also working with her in business, she's one of the best,
So that makes it sound like very biased, but it's not biased because...
but I've got other best friends that I would never want to work with. So it's not because I like her, it's because she is a really good businesswoman.
Once again, no bullshit. There's no bullshit from Anna. I've been around Anna on retreats, and she's like, whoa, hold on. That's not going to work. And I'm like, I fucking love that. I'm just listening. But that's how she is as a person anyway. She didn't get to a point of building 55 fucking stores with franchise by bullshit, Exactly. And Anna's become a very vital part of the team because branding is everything with B2B and B2C. I think what we've done amazingly between the experts and ourselves is the communication is phenomenal. The experts are all helping each other. Experts have built businesses together in the background. It's just been a phenomenal team effort, and we couldn't be more grateful for the people that we have. But that's because we've not looked for people. They've come to us. The amount of offers we've had that we've said, no, mate, no, thank you.
I think the most important thing is the chemistry. I think in a lot of businesses, even in traditional businesses, you'll have a team of people that generally don't get on. And that affects work. And once that affects work, it affects the results and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, I think with our team, everybody gets on, everybody's motivated, and everybody is in it to help everybody else. And I think that combined is just it's unstoppable. You can't get better than it.
So that's the team. And then obviously we had Aaron come on board very early on. So going back to the bad audio, the bad pictures,
and shooting in 1080p with a 4K camera, which we didn't realize.
And there was one video. How embarrassing is this? There was one video where I was raging in between the video, and whoever edited that video didn't crop out those parts.
That wouldn't have been me.
So there would have been members sitting there watching this video, and me go, "Oh fuck," and then stop and go. So as I was saying, when you go through it, and members would have watched that, and I thought, oh my God, how embarrassing. So we then got Aaron on board. Aaron actually shot our first promo video alongside Yayan, who's our videographer also, and they both come to the first event. And I remember at the first event, I walked outside. I thought, "Where's Aaron?" And he was down the side. He was down the side, having a quick cigarette. Don't smoke no more, by the way. And he quickly stomped it out. And he looked at me as if to say, "Oh shit!" And I'm like, "Mate, it's cool. You can have a cigarette." I thought, you don't know us yet. We're easygoing people. He shot the event, did a phenomenal job. I was blown away by Aaron and Yayan's work.
We all watched it together, the first ever promo, and we all watched it together, and we were like, wait, and then we pressed play, and at the end we were like, oh my God!
So
blown
away.
Good,
we were blown away. And then I remember meeting Aaron about 2 weeks later after receiving the promo to say, look, Aaron, me and Reese and Tami are not the best at editing videos. I admit that now. I've seen your video. Can we get you on board? And Aaron absolutely loved it. Aaron was like, look, I'd love to do that with you. And
almost killed him in the first year, didn't we?
Yeah, I think Aaron was worried about the volume of work as well, weren't he? Because obviously he was busy doing his own stuff as well with his business. But he was like, is there going to be much work throughout the years and stuff? And I think at that point, where we saw the community growing, we had experts on board with all these new ideas, what we wanted to do, we still do to this day. Aaron's been flat out.
Yeah.
So it's like,
But it's been phenomenal because Aaron's got to meet the members and Yain, of course. They've both been on retreats. They're both on all of our retreats
And
now.
everyone
all of our
loves
members.
them. Like,
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
well.
and so they really get to see like the core values that we offer as
Yeah.
a business. They're not just filming; they're far more, I would say, involved in that. I've
Definitely,
seen Aaron
yeah.
and Yain stand there before, giving value, talking
Yeah.
about business. Like they're not just videographers; they're businessmen themselves.
Yeah, and the members go and ask them questions to get their own content for their products.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're always providing value back.
So having them as part of the team has just been phenomenal. We recently introduced our admin guy Tom, who's just he's so structured at what he does. There's very good responses. Actually gives a shit about
Yeah.
members as well, which we fucking love.
He's a
I think
machine.
If you're gonna be, I think anyone that's part of our team has to give a fuck and has to be able to provide a level of value to the members. And I'm proud to say, looking at the team right now, every single expert gives a fuck, and every single expert provides a different element of value to the members. You know, like you going back to Aaron again. Yeah, how many members have gone to Aaron and sent him a DM and said, Aaron, just a quick question about videography. That's our videographer you're messaging.
Yeah.
And Aaron will come back to you and go,
Yeah.
mate, do this, do that, do
Yeah.
this. Aaron actually has videos within our system teaching you content creation. It's
his own lounge.
Everyone that is associated with change plays a part in helping people change their life. And we've been doing this now for 5 years. And it has just been phenomenal. And like we said earlier, there's nobody doing what we do.
Yeah.
There's nobody that comes even close to, because you can say, yeah, there's other people out there selling e-com. Yeah, they're selling e-com. And then along with that, they're selling the dream. We all know that. We can see straight through them. But some people online are a bit stupid and they can't. So, you know, we're not selling e-com. We don't need your business. But if you want to win and you want to be involved in something fucking incredible, like the community that we have, it's not just investing into me, you and Tami. Like, it's the community and being around like-minded people. You think of, we've skipped a couple of years there because obviously I don't want to make this a 2-hour podcast, but you look at the retreats that we've held across the world. Look, if we just reflect for a moment how far we've come as a community, look at some of the places we've had retreats.
Yeah.
You know, we've done the private jet to Switzerland, private jet back. We've done the 2-week retreat in Bali. Bali is the other side of the fucking world.
Yeah.
What, we had around 50 people there?
Yeah.
Incredible. We've done retreats all across Europe. You know, we've got another retreat coming up this month.
Yeah.
In fact, another retreat coming up. We've done a retreat in Morocco, Marrakesh. Yeah, we've done them
Awesome
all
places.
across
All over
the
the
world.
world.
You know, we've done them all across the world, and every single one of them sell out. Which
Yeah.
shows that people want to be around us. They
Yeah.
love this shit. And we want to be around them. Our events, every single event that we've held, tickets have all gone.
Yeah. And
People
quickly.
love this shit.
People love it. And I think, like what you're
Driven,
saying,
motivated.
everything you've said, it just makes the community stand out. Like the whole team, all the experts and everything like that. Like the chemistry is good. Everyone brings a different angle of value to help someone succeed. Like if someone came to us and, you know, with a blank canvas, no experience, wants to create a business, obviously you've got all the support from us three, straight off the bat, all the time. If you want to focus on branding to begin with, you've got Anna, loads of experience. If you don't want to work on obviously an e-commerce store, you've got James, loads of experience. If you don't want to help with marketing, as an example, you've got Anthony. If you want to push to B2B, you've got Alex. If you need help with content for your marketing, you've got a videographer team. Like you've got everything in one place. And I think under one roof, literally. And I think for the people out there that are like, oh, well, this person over here is cheaper or this system's cheaper, you're literally going to pay for what you get.
Absolutely.
And there's going to be no support. You can't just reach out to a marketing expert and get an answer.
At that level.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. And I think that's what a lot of people may oversee. Like you aren't just buying into, you know, a system or a business. You are buying into something that is going to change your life. It's a community. It's a platform with everything that you need, all the resources and tools. Literally all you've got to put in yourself is that commitment.
Yeah.
A skill set that provides real results, that creates a real business with real money.
100%.
In a nutshell. It's been incredible. It's been a journey. What would you say has been your favorite memory over the 5 years? I haven't said this before the podcast because I want to throw you guys off a little bit. But favorite memory over the 5 years. I think my favorite memory over the 5 years, and it's a bit emotional, but jumping on a Zoom with a member, she was crying her eyes out. She couldn't thank me enough. She then sent me like 3 voice notes after crying her eyes out. And I was like, man, that hit me for some reason. I don't know if I was just having an emotional day myself, but I was like, fuck, man, this is deep, you know? And I've had many calls and Zooms like that. You know, like when I've held events, people have grabbed me at events and said, oh my God, thank you so much. And I'm like, wow, man, you don't realize how much of an impact you're having half the time.
Yeah.
I would say that's my favorite. I don't think anything, other things do come close, but I don't think many things come close to seeing someone so grateful that they've come across you and they've changed their life or they're in the process of changing their life. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's just,
Amazing.
I would say one of the moment for me would have probably been this event, I would say, and just like the after part of it, like obviously one of our first ever events that we did. And it was like, obviously at that time we were speaking to people with Zooms, like not in person. Going to that event, obviously I was a bit nervous. I was like, don't really know what to expect. And I think the worst part for that was like, obviously being thrown back into COVID, we didn't see anyone.
yeah.
So it was like just that social awkwardness. And then going to that event.
Everyone coming in with their shields on.
Yeah, like shields, face masks.
Change logos on the shield, couldn't see where they were going.
And it was just weird. It was like, how do you talk to a bunch of people now? It's like just relearning it all. But I think just going there and just
there like a riot squad.
just like weird. But I just think like the environment was great, and just seeing like a lot of people, like bearing in mind like a global pandemic's just happened. Yeah. Everyone's positive.
Absolutely.
And it's not like you put the news on, it's like, oh no, like being worried or anything like that. Everyone's positive. Everyone's talking about goals, dreams, people smashing it, people's phones going off, making sales. And it's like just sitting back. It's like, we've created this. We're giving people, and it's not just, you know, X amount of people that were at that event. It's like hundreds behind the scenes.
And we've only been doing it in a year and a half.
That's what I mean.
We've only been doing it a year and a half. We started on the 14th of June, 2019.
It was less than a year.
14th of June, 2019, 7 p.m. Yeah, so less than a year.
Yeah.
Less than a year. And you're like, how can we have this much of an impact on people's lives that quickly?
Yeah.
And then like
It's
just
crazy.
even looking at that and just thinking like, where's the next few years going to take this community? And
Fucking
like,
incredible.
even at that point, looking at it now, like I would have never expected it.
We had
like
people
this. It's mad.
cheering on Inner Circle. We had people cheering at that event, Inner Circle, or whatever the guy was saying. I'm like, fucking hell, that was like right at the beginning. Look at Inner Circle now. Look at what people are achieving with Inner Circle. They're becoming financially free with that membership. Fucking mental.
Mine, I had a moment, and I do this a lot, but it was like a real core memory moment that I had when we were in Bali. And everyone had just arrived, and I will admit most people were worse for wear because they've been at the bar while we were getting things sorted out. But everyone had arrived and everyone was chatting, and I just looked around and I was like, well, there was 50 members, but it felt like 100 at that point. I just looked around and I was like, oh my God, like all these people are literally the other side of the world to see us. And like, no, it's not all about us, but like they wouldn't be there if they didn't become part of our system. And I was like, this is just nuts. Like I never ever could have dreamed this, like when it started.
Fucking mad, isn't it? Even now I look back and I'm like, and like, you know, when people go, oh, is it a scam? I'm like, man, just go away. Go away. Yeah, it's a scam. Don't drop it. Fucking it's mad, isn't it, when you think it's crazy. But this is just the beginning for change. This is just the beginning. And like we said very early on, we still got some OGs here, man. We got a lot of OGs that started on day one. You know, like some day, well, not day one, but like right at the beginning, and they're still here and they're getting the results and they're consistent. They're fucking loving it. Yeah, it's just what a community, what a team, what a skill set to learn. Yeah, you look at e-commerce; it's only getting bigger. It's only getting better. You know, in 2014, when we first started e-commerce, I could have never dreamt that e-commerce would be this big. No. I thought, you know, if I get a good 5 years out of this, I knew it was the future, but I didn't know how far it was going to go. And I thought if I could get a good 5 years out of this and change my life and then maybe diversify multiple income streams, amazing. And you look at 2024 and the 10 years, 11 years in between, you're like, how the fuck is it still growing at this rate? Because it's the future. And, you know, we've been saying for years now, you either join the wave or you get left behind. And it's been that for the last 11 years. It's like you can either watch us or join us. Either way, we're fucking leveling up. You know, and once again, it comes down to that no BS approach. If you ignore us, we don't give a shit. I forgot about you already. I don't need you. We are winning with or without you. And it's been that mentality all the way through. And e-commerce right now is projected every single year to increase by 600 million in consumer spend. Every single year, all the way up to 2030. And then 2045, 95% of all purchases will be made in the online space, whether that's property, whether that's cars, whatever it is. It's going to be made through an online transaction.
Just
that is the
remember,
future.
that's projections for literally since we ever started online. All projections have been smashed.
Yeah, they
It's
have.
been like double, triple. It's
Let's
insane.
play it safe.
So that'll be the
I don't
minimum.
want to sit here, humble down. I don't want to sit here and go, but we're going to smash it. And then people will come back to this podcast a year later and go, it didn't. Protect ourselves, Reese. But no, what a phenomenal podcast. Great reflection and
Amazing.
sitting here reminiscing. It's been amazing.
I just want to say thanks to you both, because obviously doing this, well, longer than 5 years, but everything like we've built together, I'm not going to cry. But like, it's been amazing. We haven't broke up. We haven't fell out. So it must be going good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Like a massive thanks to our team for, like you've both said, providing that amazing value to all our members. We wouldn't want anyone to work with us if they're not going to have the same passion for our members as we do. And they all give that.
And each one has to deliver a certain amount of value. They have to contribute value because we over deliver. That's what we do. We over deliver. If you pay 10K for a membership, we give you 50K value, 100K value. Well, actually, it's priceless because if you change your life, it's worth. There's no number you can put to it. But we want to 10 times what you invest in terms of value, and every single expert provides an element of value. It's just been incredible, and they're all good. I believe everything happens for a reason, and the right people have come into our lives, into the change community when they're supposed to. I truly believe that the people that are not supposed to be part of something great will always go. But I can say there's not one bad bone in anybody that's affiliated with change in terms of the team, experts. This is just the beginning. We'll look back at this podcast in 5 years' time and think, fuck me, look at this. This has to be a 3-hour episode now. How did you cram that in 30, 40 minutes? This is 3 hours minimum. But no, what a journey it's been. Reese, Tami, the team, videographers, the community, the OGs. Wow.
That's another thing. A massive thank you to the whole community, because without them, it wouldn't be what it is. Like, they're all people that I would want to sit and have lunch with. Like, everyone is like that.
You look at a football club, it's the fans that make the football club.
Yeah.
It's not the players, it's not the chairman. Some people may disagree. It's not. It's the fans. It's the fans that make.
The fans wouldn't be there.
Without the fans, they wouldn't be there. Absolutely. Same as music artists. If someone didn't listen to your music, you wouldn't be there.
Yeah, you're not going to.
It's all about your fans. And with us, it's all about the members. Without them, we'd have no stories to tell. We'd have no community to help.
We wouldn't have experts that want to come and help people.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be able to impact anyone's lives. We're impacting lives, we're changing lives, and we've built an awesome community. It's just incredible.
Big shout out to the community. Like the last 5 years has been wicked. I know a lot of members haven't been with us for 5 years, but some people might have been watching us a few years before they joined. But for the OGs as well, they would have watched us from day one.
Yes,
so big shout out to you guys. But
videos.
like what we've been saying, like the community is what drives us to do better, to help more people moving forward, and it just makes the team hungry for success in helping people. So, and also a big shout out to obviously the team. Everybody, Alex, Anthony, Anna, James, Yayan, Aaron, everyone there. And also you two guys, you've smashed it. You've been driven from day one. It's been wicked. It's been good.
Until next year, let's celebrate 5 years.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.